Yeah! Alright, today, a little bit different from my normal videos, I'm going to be reading off some notes at you, a little spoken word, talking about a subject that I've been thinking about, which was 3D printers and making money with them. I've seen videos online of people saying, like, you know, like, it's the same sort of, like, drop shipping bro sort of videos. So maybe I fell for it a little bit. But I bought a 3D printer because I was going to try to make some money with it. Now, that being said, I had an idea before I got the printer. But I've got some notes here, and we'll go down the list on it. But me and you are going to talk about it. Our parasocial relationship right now. You're sitting across the room from me. You're my best friend. Anyways, I should note that everything has a ish attached to it. So whenever I'm talking about numbers, they're rough. If you want to be obsessed with me, you can go online and find my Etsy page. I have it linked on my YouTube channel. And you can try to figure out how much and how many of these products that I sold. Speaking of which, I'm going to go grab one of these guys. It's a sorter for dice. You know, you put it into the top. It's like a hopper. Then it pops out five dice for tabletop games. So you can, if you need to count out 20 quickly instead of having a pile or a bucket and going 5, 10, you know, grabbing bits and pieces out. You can just 5, 10, 15, 20. That's what I've been making money with. Let's talk about the costs of it all. So I didn't design that. I spent $3 on a 3D printing website for a file, and it included the commercial license for it, so I could actually sell the thing. I spent $30 with a friend of mine for a test print. I let him use the file, and which I shouldn't say that. He bought the thing himself, I'm sure, but because he loved it so much. But I paid him $30 to get me some test prints to see if they worked. Some for myself to keep and use, and then some for gifts, and then some to sell as well. And he really did give me a good deal, and I should give him a little bit back on it now, considering I've made some money with it finally. But he charged me $30 for materials and print time and everything. I think I got 4 of those things I just showed you. I spent $500 on the printer and the material. I got the Soval T300 or the Comgro, whatever brand name it is attached to it. It's always on sale for like $269. And then the rest of that $500 was spent on filaments. Most of what I've been spending on filaments has all been the same brand. It's the same brand, Comgro, Soval printer filament. Of just different colors, because I thought that might be a good marketing thing, which it might not be great, but I spent $60 on packing materials. That's boxes, bubble wrap, printer, paper, tape, that sort of thing. Some of that I already had, because I've already been running another Etsy shop before I even thought about this printer. But roughly $60 on packaging, which that's going to vary depending on what you're selling. And then about $15 on setting up an Etsy shop. That's a flat fee you have to pay for when you start one, as of me recording this video. I decided to make another shop for the 3D printed stuff just because it's not really on brand with like my medieval reenactment goods. So I still sold some on there, which was kind of stupid, but didn't burn me, so whatever. So I've made from roughly 3 months or 2 months of, I guess, a month and a half of the shop actually being up, I've made $650 take home from selling these dice dispensers. Now, if you're really obsessed, you could go find all of the details, see how many sales I've made, but just take my word on it. 650 is what my take home is, and that's, after Etsy's fees and taxes and everything. But it wasn't just, I didn't just spend, $500, almost $600, or not, almost over $600 to make, $42 for nothing, right? Like, I had to find a file, I had to get test prints made, I had to shop for a printer, I had to assemble and troubleshoot the prints, assemble not the prints, but assemble the machine and troubleshoot printing it. I had to make an Etsy shop, make a listing, I had to be customer service and support, I had to package and drive to the post office, I had to do every aspect of it. Now, total, it was around 20 hours of work over a month and a half or so. But, that's basically putting me at $2 an hour. Not, go work at McDonald's, go work anywhere for a day, and you'll have made more profit than I have on this. For a lot less thought and work, too, really. Now, that being said, that is $40 take home. And I still have lots of filament, lots of packaging equipment, or supplies, I should say. Like, I'm going to be, if I sell more of these, which I think I will, it's going to be a lot more take home. And I do also have that functional printer, permitted nothing else goes wrong with it. I had one malfunction where I had to change out the nozzle, but I didn't have to buy anything for it yet. Eventually, I will have to replace parts on it. Hopefully, that I'll be, around $1,000 into it before that's a problem. So, hopefully, decent profits are in front of me. Now, but I'm sure you're wondering, well, that sounds great, for a side thing, right? Like, not your main source of income. I want a printer. I like money. I should go and do this. I don't think you should. Realistically, this was the best case scenario, the best outcome, which is that I barely broke more than even on it after a given period of time and some effort. Realistically, I'd get that printer, and then, I think realistically, you'd get that printer, or I'd get that printer, and then it'd sit in your garage, kind of like my generation's Bowflex. I remember my parents buying workout equipment that they would never use, and I think that that's the case for a lot of these printers, is people buy them, and then they use it, they print a couple things, and then they sit on a shelf somewhere. That's what's happened with me before in the past when printers were new, so, but hey, I fell for it again. What schmuck. But, it is making money now, but I have experience. I've been selling on Etsy for over almost 2 years with another shop, so I already had the workflow down of navigating Etsy, making a listing, knowing how to make a listing and how to word things and how to use the taglines and buzzwords that you can use to play the algorithm on Etsy, which you have to do, unfortunately, right? Like, if you want to sell things, you have to do that sort of thing, which I guess you don't have to do it, but it certainly helps. A good example of it is on my listing. I have a bunch of popular game names they may not even use D6 that often, or often enough to justify this, but it gets it in the search. And odds are, if somebody's interested in Pathfinder and D&D, they're probably also interested in other tabletop games. And lots of war games and tabletop games use D6. So, whatever. Maybe it's a little scummy. It's probably not the worst thing. Let's see. Also, this product was something that I use, or that I would see myself using. I enjoy those type of tabletop games. I know that it's a little knick-knacky, but I could certainly see some people using it. I use it pretty much every time I play Warhammer now. It's useful, but if you don't know anything about tabletop game stuff, you probably aren't well equipped to find good 3D printed objects for it. Not to say you shouldn't do it, but sometimes you have to fail and eat shit for a while before you figure out how to actually sell things or what is something people are actually interested in. So I don't know. Try if you're actually gung ho about it. You should try it. Try something. But if you're just doing it to make money, go apply at any fast food place, uh, and you'll work far less for how much money you'll be taking home. And I referenced it earlier, but when you see people, they'll make um, inflammatory, is that the right word? Doesn't matter. They're gonna make titles or statements or the likes on their videos and thumbnails to try to grab your attention, uh, and then get you to buy a printer, or whatever, a course or the likes, and you don't need to do that. Like, realize if they have any means of making money off of it, that they're probably trying to sell you something. Like if they have an affiliate link, odds are they're gonna spin it in a way that makes you think, yeah, maybe I should get a printer. Yeah, maybe I should do that. But just realize that, and I'm not trying to discourage you from making money yourself or on the side of the likes, but realize that it's not just make a thing. It's know what people need, make it well, market it well, have good customer service. Like, you have to be all terrain when it comes to this sort of thing, right? Like, it's not enough to be somebody who is good at making. You have to be tech savvy and the likes. So those are just some of my thoughts on it. Hopefully this was insightful and it wasn't just awful watching me sit here and pick my nose and be a psycho in front of you for a few minutes. Hopefully it helped.